Alright, well that probably didn't look like much, and truth be told, it wasn't. Basically all we wanted to do there was get a quick shot of paint on any exposed rust areas, because the box sides that I have actually, they were just drilled off by the last guy. So I'm going to basically use the same holes that they were drilled off in, and use screws or bolts or rivets, I haven't quite decided yet, to get it back on. But in case they don't line up perfectly with the bolt holes, I want to make sure that any exposed metal was covered with paint so we wouldn't have rust spots popping up everywhere. This way, it'll be good enough until I come back to it in a few years with the sandblaster, when I can really get in there and clean it up and make it really nice and good. Oh no, it's not going to fit. I will do the same to the driver's side. Man, wouldn't this be awesome if this was how normal projects went? Okay, so now we're going to chase the bolts in there, and then we might have to do a bit of welding because, like I said, this was drilled off, and the last guy, he made a mistake, I guess, on this was the first side he did, was this one. And hopefully I got room with the door. You can kind of see, that's a shitty angle for you. You can see on this one, there's, there's this, what the tailgate latches into, and you'll notice it's not here. He just went and cut it right off, which, yeah, it makes my life a little bit more difficult. I kept this, which is a piece from my old box sides, so, ow, stabbed my finger on that. So I'm just gonna have to weld it on with the MIG to this. So we'll probably blow a million holes in it, but we'll get it to stick eventually. And yeah, that'll be all right. I guess we'll start doing that. Now we're just going to straighten this out, get rid of this. Going to make this into a raindrop Damascus something or other, probably like a big hunting knife. Check that out in another video. I'll probably post that in a couple weeks whenever I get around to it. And we end up hammering with the pliers. God damn it. Cool, that's close enough. right, well, now we got the box sides roughly installed, so we're gonna head over, grab some rivets, and we're just gonna use those basically through the existing holes where they line up, and then we're gonna drill some new holes where they don't line up. I figured they'd line up better, but here, if I take you over to the box, you can see in here these holes. I was hoping they would line up. Oh, that one's actually not too bad. I was hoping they would line up pretty well, given that, you know, these both probably came from the same factory, were spot welded by the same machine, or maybe manually, I don't even know. Probably manually, I guess, if they don't line up. They're not too bad on these side portions here, so I might be able to use some of the holes on these areas up through here. But most of these are gonna have to be done just with new holes, and then I'll put some bed liner over this to cover it up. Luckily, these ones do line up, so I'm just gonna throw some rivets in there and it'll be good to go. Busted Stanley rivet gun. We're gonna change out the rivet head. Oops, for a smaller one. Which one do we fit in? You can see that it's just nice, they store on the side here. Throw your guy in the front. Put it through the hole. We'll align this. Oh, that's like a big gap at the bottom. Holy shoot. Okay, maybe we're gonna have to use washers. Well, it looks like that's not gonna work. The guy that drilled these off used a ginormous drill bit, much bigger than the one I did. So I'm gonna have to go and get some washers, I guess, and then I can put the washer below the rivet head to kind of give it more purchase so that it will actually catch on that. Helpful to have a third pair of hands here. Third pair, second pair? Just more than two. There you go. And so now that there's a little brace in there, it's nice and secure. It's not gonna come apart. Alright, well, that's all we're going to do for today. I was planning to get the whole thing done, but unfortunately, just with the way everything's going, I kind of want to get the cab finished first, just because that'll tell me exactly how everything is going to sit. Sorry, I'll get back in the frame here. That'll tell me exactly how everything is going to sit, because right now I think it's lining up properly, but I'm not 100% sure. So the best way to do it, so that I don't have to do it twice, is going to be to basically finish up the repairs to the cab, which I'll show you here. You can see we got a whole crap ton of Bondo. It was pretty mangled. You can see it in I think you can see it in the start of the Tacoma shock repair video. You know, it got hit and the box was shot and the cab was ugly. So we put a lot of Bondo on there, and it matches up quite well with the door, the trim lines and everything, so that should be good once we get it painted. And then once we get that all painted up, we'll be able to move that into its final position here on the truck, which will just make doing the final alignment better, because I still have a bit of wiggle room here. It's hard to see because the whole box shakes, but right now the way it's sitting, it's possible that the box is slightly twisted or what have you. So before I put the tailgate mounts on and, you know, get other body panels and stuff attached, I want to make sure it's resting all nice and square. One last thing before I let you guys go, anyone know of a good way to soften up old stiff rubber things like this? These are obviously the rear mud flaps, and like you can tell they're crusty and they got a permanent bend in them. So I'd like to get that sort of straightened out. For now, I'm going to shoot them up with some WD-40. Hopefully that does something. But if you guys know something better, let me know in the comments below. So that's all for this video. I hope you liked it. Hope I inspired you to get into your shop and do something cool, because really that's the kind of goal here. Otherwise, hit that red button and I'll see you next time.